Everyone, welcome back. So we looking forward to the MPC 3.0 firmware. Now we're talking about the desktop specifically. So I probably won't make another video for a while, at least until that actual software gets released as a public beta. But specifically for those that are looking at the MPC ecosystem, particularly, I spoke to someone this morning about this, and right now is I consider this more of a healthier time to buy into the ecosystem. This is one of those moments where products that have been out for, let's say, the past year or two, or in some cases, if you consider the MPCX original, that's 2017. These products will all work in conjunction with the new software that will be coming out, and it'll be, in terms of control mode. And so, to say the least, the MPC ecosystem has been on a really good trajectory or progression, and I've been with since 2017 with the MPCX. And so, mind you, I've gone through, sort of those rough edges, if you will, kind of wondering what Akai was actually going to do or what their next step was. But it started to become more clear after the MPC keys was released in 2000 and I believe it was late 2022 when that was released. And so from that point on, they've sort of been hitting, the right notes, so to speak, with all the moves that they've been making. It's been on like a healthy trajectory. Now, as far as investing into like the machine ecosystem or the Ableton ecosystem, what I have to say in regards to just everything in general is that come up with a checklist of, let's say, 4 to 5 things that mean the most to you, and then investigate whether those platforms actually offer that. So, for example, I look at having drum pads, having a drum pad surface is like not the most important thing, but it's one of like 5 things. So minimally, it's got to have that. Having a physical control surface to be able to manipulate whatever muscle memory you have to do in order to get it to work. So having a physical control surface is now starting to become an actual factor that maybe once wasn't when I was using Logic back in the day. Being able to make your own sounds, that actually is extremely important. So these are samples. Okay. So these are samples, but being able to make your own library and organize them into the whatever you're using is a big deal. So that's something that, for example, Logic does extremely well. You can do that. All right. But something that Machine doesn't do as well. It didn't work out as well for me with the Machine. So as I start making these check boxes, and here's a checkbox that I thought I would never ever have on my list, which is to have a product in different form factors. So you see a Keys 37, you've seen on my videos an MPCX a lot, and sometimes you see you don't see it a whole lot, but I have an Akai Force, and I also got an MPC Keys 61, which that one I don't care for. That doesn't mean that's wrong for you or right for you or right or wrong for you because it's wrong for me. But that one didn't check the boxes as much. But you got an MPC Live. So when you start adding all these factors together, it got to the point, at least for me, that there's really not a whole lot that's out there. In other words, this platform for me has personally become one of one. And that sort of almost becomes what they call classified as a unique. All right. And so the only thing that's really missing is the desktop software. And the desktop software would take this particular experience to a whole nother level. So again, if you're someone that's looking from the outside and you're looking at these different platform offerings, I can just speak in general from being around for so long that the Akai ecosystem, sandbox platform, whatever you want to call it, they're on more of on a good note. They're on a healthy trajectory where Native Instruments is not and Ableton is not. Not to say that these programs are bad. That's not the case. So I'll just draw one parallel. Years ago, the DX7, the 1983 was a big deal, and it was you can go on YouTube and look at the history, and it wiped out most of the competitive uh, markets back then, like Fender Rhodes, the Leslie, um, Roland, Korg. Okay, around that time, and then eventually um, things sort of cycle through. So this is sort of kind of explains how things work. And then eventually, the D50 comes out, and now Yamaha's sort of on this down trajectory, kind of like Native Instruments, where they can't seem to bring anything in to the market, and they kind of hit a low point, and where everything was going really well for them, now everything is not going very well for them. And then eventually, Korg comes out with the M1, and now both Roland and Yamaha are sort of in the fritz. Now at that time, Yamaha was actually had bought the controlling interest of Korg back then. That's that whole sequential circuits thing, and Yamaha was doing a lot of R&D in digital mixing. That's where they invested all their resources into digital mixing, and that's when you started seeing this resurgence of like the 03R, the 01V, and they really owned the market of digital mixing back then. And then Roland couldn't save themselves. They had a D20, a D10. Nothing can compete with the M1 then. And then all of a sudden they do the JV 1080. So see how these companies sort of cycle through. And I just think that Native Instruments is it's not that I hate on Native Instruments. I have Native Instruments products here, but they're on that off cycle, if you will, and they're not doing so well. And everything's not quite as well oiled as they were when they were just killing the market with the Machine 1, the Machine 2. Remember the Core device that they had, you know, all that stuff. So, they just kind of go in and out. But right now, if you're looking at a Kai, it's probably a safe bet if you want to enter into, what they have to offer. Yes, there's learning curves, but the potential is just like through the roof now with the DAW coming around the corner. So, anyway, so if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I hope to start some kind of really cool dialect amongst the community here. And until next time, everyone, peace out.